Hello, everyone. This is a spoiler-free review of Batman vs Superman. I'm Admin BX. I'm doing this one solo, so it's just going to be a real quick review what I thought of the movie. This is a movie that's been heavily criticized, and then on the other end of it, I see it's been overly praised. I find that it has a very specific center. This film is by no means horrible, as everyone says. Let me just say that right off the back if you haven't seen it yet. It is not horrible. It's not great either, but it's not as bad as everybody makes it sound. Now, this is all just my opinion, my sole opinion, not even from the page or the other admins. I think once you get past that this is a setup for the DCU, that it's a Batman and Superman in the same movie and they're fighting, you're left with a substandard movie. But with all these factors in it, it's what pushes this movie from a little under basic to what it is and what it's making. Like everybody else, I'm very excited about Batman and Superman, the DCU. You probably won't find a bigger Superman fan than me. I see a lot of the hate. I think it stems from a few things. I think one of the things that's overlooked is that how long people have been waiting to see this, so expectations are high. So this movie already has like an insurmountable goal to attain off the bat. The fight scenes in this were amazing. Anyone who says anything different is just lying. Oh, but back to what I was saying before I get off track. I think a lot of the hate comes from they expected so much from this movie and it doesn't reach that goal. I think that's what some of the frustration is. A lot of people say, oh, it's just Marvel fanboys. DC fans are learning what hardcore Marvel fans know already. They live and die with every single movie. Every criticism, they're like, oh man, that's what DC fans are going through right now. Before anyone brings up the argument, oh well, it made X amount of dollars already. It's going to make X amount, so it has to be a good movie. I just want you to keep in mind, the last Transformers movie made a stupid amount of money, and that movie was awful. All right, so fight scenes were amazing. Ben Affleck is the quintessential Batman. Personally, for me, I'm a huge fan of Michael Keaton. I thought that was like the best Batman. Wasn't a big fan of Christian Bale. I love the actor though, so it was above good for me. Christian Bale's Batman was above good. The trilogy together was good. The Dark Knight was great. Batman Begins has to be like my favorite Batman movie next to the Batman with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. But first off, Ben Affleck has blown this movie out of the water. You could see with all the rewrites and everything that the movie is more about Batman than Superman. We all knew that was going to happen, but it's worth it because Ben Affleck shines so much as Batman. He's the best Bruce Wayne you've ever seen. He's the best Batman you've ever seen. Someone say, oh, I like Christian Bale, that's fine. But this is just my opinion. Someone who's been a fan of these movies and comics for, we'll say at least since I was 5. I won't even tell you how old I am now. But I think this is the best portrayal of Batman I've ever seen. Now, there's no spoilers, so I'm not going to get too much into detail. I kind of could understand the direction they were going with Lex Luthor. But to be honest, for me, it didn't work. He came off as pompous, kind of a brat. I think I have an idea of what they were going for, but I feel Jesse Eisenberg was just a horrible choice, and it did not it did not come across the way they expected it to, if that makes sense. Yeah, I just, when he was on the scene, every scene he was in, it seemed to just drag out. As opposed to Ben Affleck, when he was on the scene, he stole the whole show. Lois Lane, when she was on the scene, in a scene, she stole the whole show. Even Lawrence Fishburne, when he was in the scene, you could see his acting coming through. Like, he was even acting better than some of the other people he was in the scene with. So that was another thing. I felt Jesse Eisenberg doing Lex Luthor was the worst part of this movie. And that's saying a lot. I'm not a big fan of Zack Snyder's take on Superman. Now, I enjoyed The Man of Steel. I love The Man of Steel. My biggest issue with it wasn't the killing or nothing. My biggest issue with The Man of Steel was the CGI. It was such an eyesore for me. Especially the scene where he was fighting Feora and the guy with no name in the city that had the IHOP, the Sears, the U-Haul, the 7-Eleven. You all know the scene. The CGI was so bad, I have to fast forward it every time. That was my biggest gripe about the film. Now, Zack Snyder's take on Superman. After watching The Man of Steel, I thought there was an evolution and he was going to go in one direction. After watching Batman vs. Superman, it seems they've done a complete 180 and went a whole nother direction than I thought they would. I won't get into heavy detail again because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. Wonder Woman, she really didn't have many lines, but I did enjoy seeing her on screen. I don't know if that's just because it's Gal Gadot, or was it just a Wonder Woman character in general, but loved every scene she was in. Her fight scenes were done to perfection. One thing Zack Snyder does that I realize is great fight scenes. I'm not a big fan of the cameos. I won't say how it was done in case you didn't see this. I thought it was lazy. It just lacked momentum. It kind of just sucked the energy out of the film when they were doing the actual cameos. Again, I won't say how. If you see the movie, feel free to inbox us or just comment below. I love the dynamic between Alfred and Bruce. The whole Batman arc saved the movie. I think they could have done Superman so much better. I don't know if it's Zack Snyder doesn't understand Superman or it's just maybe his take on it. I seen a comment Zack Snyder made saying if you're a fan of the Superman movies from Christopher Reeve, this movie's not for you. But if you've been reading the comics, this is the movie for you. Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. I think he misses the very essence of what Superman is. This really isn't kind of a spoiler, but if you've seen that second trailer of Batman vs. Superman, it spoils the entire movie. I'm not really a big fan of the way Doomsday was handled. There were a lot of plot holes left so that you yourself will fill in the blank. I think I've seen a lot of reviews online and everybody says the same thing. This movie has so much potential. It could be that the extended version will fill in all those holes, but I've seen someone say Zack Snyder is substance. No, he's style over substance, and I agree with that 100%. I went to the movie with my wife. I'll tell you what I rated in a second. First, let me say I was glad to see this movie in the theater. I shelled out a little extra dough. Seen it in IMAX with Dolby Sound. Oh, on a side note, my wife thought it was funny that we went to see a DC movie, the biggest DC movie they've ever had. And we see trailers from X-Men, We see a trailer from Civil War. We see a trailer from The Huntsman, which has Chris Hemsworth, who plays Thor. She thought that was funny. I thought that was funny. That's neither here nor there, though. Oh, one more thing that bothered me. The whole Martha thing. You know what? I won't even say much about it. When you see it, if you haven't already, when you see it, let me know what you thought. I can't wait to get some feedback from you guys. With all that said, I'd have to give it I'd give the movie a 6.5. I'd say it's a heavy 5. It's not quite a 7. It's better than 6. So I'm going to give it, out of 10, a 6.5. And that's from Admin BX. Let me know what you guys thought of the movie below. Any parts that you loved, any parts that you hated, let us know. And we can't wait to get your feedback. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for listening.